You know, this is a different Dunwich horror review because the dog is now on the other side of me. Hey, you can barely see a paw there. Okay.
No, that's Peach's evil twin.
Yes. Just the floating snake head from the last movie, but with Peach's head there in the middle. Yeah, so fuck this movie. Holy crap. So I got if you didn't watch the last video, don't worry, you're not seeing things right now. I did not have to re-upload the video. No. I got the crazy ass idea after we watched the Dunwich Horror from 1970 last week, that we would watch the 2009 sci-fi made-for-TV version of the Dunwich Horror, which at the time I did not know it was a sci-fi made-for-TV movie. I just saw that after we finished watching the old one, Amazon recommended me, hey, would you like to watch the 2009 Dunwich Horror film? I was like, oh, shoot. That'd actually be kind of a cool idea. Let's compare the two, see which one was better. There's no contest on that one. We know which one was better.
Honestly, I thought we were gonna do both movies in the same review because so little happens in this one that it's like, is it even worth bringing up?
Oh, no. No, things happen in this one.
I guess so.
Things happen, and we will talk about them. Oh my God. Listen, it's not that things didn't happen in this one. It's that your mind blacked them out because it was such an awful piece of crap. And I was like, okay, we'll compare them because they're going to share like the same story. Not really. These are such different films.
It is so weird that they both were supposed to be inspired by Lovecraft's story, and they hardly have anything to do with the original story.
Both of them added so many of their own elements into the thing, and I was like, okay, with the last one that we talked about, that was 1970, it was so clearly trying to rip off Rosemary's Baby and just turn Dunwich Horror into Rosemary's Baby. This one, I don't know what the fuck they were doing with this thing. This thing, the director of it he did like asylum films, and boy, you can tell.
Oh, it definitely shows.
You can tell. Okay, this thing, it opens up the same way as the last one opened, with a shot of Wilbur Whateley being born alongside his twin brother, but from the moment this thing begins, and the way the camera is moving, I was like, something's off about this. Something ain't right with this.
This looks cheap.
I could feel this was a made-for-TV movie the moment the camera started moving and the moment we started seeing everything. And then we see Wilbur's mom just screaming as she's giving birth. And I looked at that and went, that is the fakest wig I have ever seen in my life.
And I looked at it and said, that is the fakest pregnant belly I've ever seen in my life.
Oh my God. Like, she has got, it's pillows. It is, I don't even think it's pillows because it's too round to be pillows. You put pillows underneath someone's stomach, it's got to have a little bit of flatness going in there. This is a balloon. She ate some Wonka gum. And it's just inflating is what's happening right in here. But she gives birth to Wilbur, and then the doctor's like, it's the same twist from the first one of, oh, there's another child, you're having twins. And both of us were like, her stomach didn't deflate at all. Shouldn't you, the doctor, have questions about what? First off, you should have questions about why a pregnant woman's stomach is this large around her. It looks like she's wearing one of those Halloween sumo belly things.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it looked like. But it didn't deflate at all after she gave birth to the first one. And I was like, maybe I don't know enough about pregnancy and birth, but I always, every time that I've heard about the stomach kind of goes down a little bit after the child comes out. So I was like, you doctors should definitely have realized something else is still in there. Probably 8 other things too, based on the size of that. So she gives birth to the other child. Then it cuts to something not from the last film, and I'm gonna go out on a limb and not say from the original story. We now cut to the professor from the last one, who in this one, it's Dr. Henry Armitage. And in the previous one, this is kind of a cool thing. I'll give him some credit on this casting in here. In the 1970s one, Wilbur was played by Dean Stockwell. And as I mentioned in that last review, I didn't even realize that was him. I've never seen Dean Stockwell that young. I recognized this was Dean Stockwell. He is now playing the professor. And it's like, okay, that's cool. Except that we're cutting to a house. And it's the inside of the house, and man, you ever just see the inside of a set and you realize that's not a set, that is someone's house they had available, they had access to, because I've seen some of those Amityville horror films that they've made that aren't part of like the official Amityville horror film franchise, but they're like the weird ass spin-offs, because Amityville horror was an actual thing that happened, so it's in the public domain. You can make a film about it. And I've seen some of those in which it's like, wow, so this is the Amityville house. And like, that's some dude's apartment. You're filming in some guy's like 2-story townhouse. And it looked like that. And it's a father and a mother, and they're talking to a priest, and the priest comes down like, oh, there's something. No, it's too terrible in there. Then Dr. Henry Armitage and his assistant, Professor Faye Morgan. Oh my God. I didn't know the name. I'm sorry. Wow. Clever. Way to go. So they come in, and they're like, we're here to see the child. And they go up there, and they start talking to this clearly evil-possessed child. And I put child in quotation marks because it is so clearly a short adult. Like, it's so clearly like a woman who's like grown, but she's like 5 feet tall. And they're talking to her, and the dialogue is so bad. He's talking to her and goes, what's your name? Caitlin. Oh, that's a pretty name for an interstellar demon from space.
That's 6,000 years old.
That's like the exact line, by the way. I was like, oh my God. While he's doing that, Morgan Le Fay is in the background doing something with like marbles to find like where the puzzle box is.
The puzzle box that's possessing her apparently, or some shit like that. Day
by day, that Hellraiser marathon we gotta do is getting closer and closer. So yeah, they find a puzzle box in there, and then the demon sprouts CGI wings out of this little girl's back, and they start fighting, and Dr. Henry Armitage fights back with force lightning. He starts shooting out lightning bolts from his fingers to attack this demon. This is the Dunwich Horror. I should say this is the Dunwich Horror. I need to remind everyone, hey Peach, I need to remind everyone that's the film you're watching. It's like, holy cow. They tried to turn the 1970s Dunwich Horror into Rosemary's Baby. They tried to turn this one into Constantine. He's literally John Constantine minus the British
accent.
Thank you. British accent and the cigarette. That's it. He's even got the trench coat on. But they find the puzzle box. They go to this other professor who turns out, Dr. Walter Rice, who turns out is the ex-husband of Morgan Le Fay.
I thought it was like ex-boyfriend.
One of those two. I can't remember.
They had a thing together.
They used to be.
But there's so little chemistry between them that if they did not bring it up, I never would have guessed.
We did not realize that was supposed to be a thing for a while. And literally, like, there's a moment in the beginning in which they first are talking to each other, and he's showing him the puzzle box, and like he's going, oh yeah, so this is inscribed to this, and then she goes, well, it could also be this over here, and then Dr. Armitage goes, please let the decipherer do his job. And I was like, okay, if they have a history, you would not turn and talk to someone who has a history with this guy like that. You would turn and talk to someone like that when they don't know who this guy is or what like his credentials are. It does not feel like they have ever met in the beginning of this film. It could possibly have been that they originally were not supposed to be a couple, because that would imply that there was a rewrite on this film, and ooh boy, oh my God. Okay, so we brought up, this does not feel like the Dunwich Horror right now. This feels like something completely different. Outside of that opening shot of the Wilburs, of the Whateleys, it does not feel like it's anything like the Dunwich Horror. When the opening credits for this were going by, the opening credits did not say the Dunwich Horror.
Yeah.
It said Witches, the Darkest Place. We looked this up afterwards. This film is known as the Dunwich Horror. It's known as Witches, the Dunwich Horror. And it's also known as Witches, the Darkest Place. This thing was not meant to be the Dunwich Horror. This thing, They got the rights to Dunwich Horror, and they just shoved it in here. This was a pre-existing script with multiple other ideas that they just crammed together.
And it definitely shows.
It so feels like it. There is, you know what, fuck it, I'm just going to jump to the end of this. I'm going to jump towards the end of this. That little girl, Caitlin, they get the demon out of her. She's safe. She is not seen for the rest of this movie. She is gone for the next hour and 20 minutes. Then at the very end, Dr. Armitage is at the Whately's house. The Professor Rice and Morgan Le Fay, I'm going to keep calling her that. I'm sorry, but I am. They realize he's at the Whately's place. And then all of a sudden, Caitlin walks in. And they go, Caitlin, what are you doing here? Dr. Armitage said he had information about my grandfather. It's like, okay, then we have to go and investigate this. And then she tags along with them, and I'm just like, does Dr. Rice know who this kid is? Who is this lost sassy child? This tiny girl who, again, is clearly like a 20-something adult.
Like, I kind of felt like he adopted her after he exercised her or something like that to keep an eye on her. I don't know.
But, that's raising more questions.
Yes, it
That raises
is.
more questions that's never established in here. However, the reason why she's saying that is because they then go to the Armitage house, and so now Professor Rice, Morgan Le Fay, two people we've been following out this entire film, and then the little girl from the first 5 minutes of the movie, who we have not seen for the past hour and 20 minutes, are there to confront the demon there. And at the end of this, Dr. Armitage gets sucked up into the portal, into the Old Gods realm, and Caitlin shouts out, "Dad!"
It was
What? That was... Is Dr. Armitage... Are you saying that to Dr. Armitage? Are you saying that to Dr. Rice? Because Dr. Rice is also there, struggling to not be pulled in. Are you saying it to Wilbur's brother, who's the weird demon that's sucking people into the portal right now?
Yeah, because, like, it just cuts to her saying it. She's not looking at anyone specifically.
No, we have no idea who she's looking at in that moment.
It's like, once again, you know this was, like, from a cut story from this movie, like...
And also, in the beginning of the film, we see her parents! It's the two parents in the house who are concerned about their child being possessed. Why are you calling someone randomly dad now? For this one shot? It's my mind turned into popcorn. Like, I could feel the kernels in my brain just... There's no words. There's no fucking words. That's like, okay, you had a different script at some point in which she was going to be someone's kid. Why, in God's name, would you have, when you were shooting that shot, how on earth did you not realize, oh, we kept this line in here, let's take that out? Or maybe all the Dunwich stuff got added later. Maybe all of that got added later. Maybe all that was reshoots, and this was something from the original take of that. How do you not realize that while editing the film that you still have? And it's not like, okay, it's not like it's just something where she's like in the background, there's a bunch of other things happening. It cuts specifically to her just going, Dad! Then cuts to something else. Meaning the editors had to actually have gone, all right, move the dad shot in here. Now move this shot here. Like, no, they had to find the dad shot and put the dad shot in there. It's flabbergasting. So, yeah, I had to jump towards the end to talk about that because, like, no, this so clearly was multiple ideas shuffled together like a deck of cards. And, man, they're fighting each other in here.
Considering this movie has, like, 3 titles, like...
Yeah. Also, where the fuck are the witches? Who is and is not a witch? I
don't know. I just assumed that the witch is whoever gives birth to, like, the evil babies.
Oh my god. We have to bring this up. We have to bring this fucking up. Okay, so, as opposed to the last film, where Wilbur was only living with his grandfather, I know in the book, Wilbur lives with his grandfather and his mom, but the mom is like, I think Wilbur's getting a little bit weird now. I'm gonna leave. So the mom does eventually leave in the book. In the movie we watched last time, the mom was in an asylum, and she was just like, she's gone. She's not coming back. In here, the mom is there, and my exact words to you were, now we know what Lovecraft would be like if it was made by Rob Zombie. Because, oh my god, this is everything that we complain about in Rob Zombie films. Where, like, okay, all right, man, you want to do something like the Sawyer family in Texas Chainsaw Massacre? Like, fine, this fits there. Stop trying to shove this dynamic into everything. Because, yeah, like, when you watch, like, Halloween, you're like, this is not the Myers. Stop this. And then I watch this, and she is like, the most just, like, stereotype of, like, a backwater hillbilly you've ever seen. I apologize for using that term, but it's like, no, that's what they're going for in here. Except she's also supposed to be, like, creepy child, because she's like, play with me. And so it's like that mixed with the creepy redneck attire, and it's like, all right, man, this is grating to watch. This is so insufferable to sit through. And man, we should point out Wilbur in this one is played by Jeffrey Combs. Jeffrey Combs, a legend in the horror scene, done so many great horror films, and done a lot of great Lovecraft adaptations. Reanimator, From Beyond. Yeah, this dude, if you want to do some good Lovecraft, you call this guy up, and that's clearly why they got him for this role. He's the Lovecraft guy. He's playing Wilbur. I think somebody told him he was playing a character from Shadows over Innsmouth, because he's trying to do a fish face the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
That's his face the entire movie. And man, we point out, like, listen, again, Wilbur's supposed to be intimidating. He's supposed to be something's off about this guy. This is not something's off about this guy. This is, I'm doing a character and I don't care. This man, I never ever want to point to Jeffrey Combs and say, that dude was just here for a paycheck. But if there was ever a role where he was just there for a paycheck, it's whatever he was doing in this. And for all we know, the director was telling him to do that exact thing and would not shoot the film until he did that exact thing. But if it is, that is a massive strike to the director, because how on earth did you think that just a guy walking along, the entire film is going to be intimidating in any way, shape, or form? It is so stupid. However, all that stuff is irritating. All that stuff is irritating. The worst thing, though, I have never felt like bailing on a movie like I have with this one. Like, literally, like 10 minutes into the movie, I was like, man, I don't know. I think this was a bad idea to do a comparison. But then we got like half an hour in, I was like, we're too deep into it now. But then even when we were like half an hour into this thing, I was still like, I'm about to pull the ripcord. I cannot take this anymore. The way in which they try to edit, there's something wrong about this place. They keep doing like a little glitch.
Yeah.
It's like a weird like glitch effect, except that you're supposed to do that when something slightly unnatural is happening, and do it sparingly and subtly so the audience feels like, oh, wait, hold on. Did I just see something? What's happening here? No, you will notice it, and it's constantly happening whenever they're at the Waitley's place. And I mean constantly happening.
It's like, oh, they just had too much coffee. They're just twitching. Like,
I wanted this film to manifest into a living human being so I could shake the shit out of them and say, stop doing that. Stop it. Sorry, buddy. Not you. You're good. I was just like, oh my God. It's so irritating and constant, and it's during scenes when ain't shit happening in there, when it should not be getting used over and over, and that's not even the worst editing in the movie. There are multiple times in this film where it will decide to do a slow dissolve fade into the same shot. Not like a slow, okay, we're transitioning from this scene into this scene. slow fade out, which, by the way, in and of itself, not great. Only use that every now and again. It's not great to do slow fade into black in a movie. Like, that's the kind of thing, I use that in, like, some
Unless, like, because this was made for TV, that was, like, fade in for commercials, or...
No, I refuse to believe that, because audio was still going during those moments. And like I said, it's not slow. Like, if you want to cut to commercial, you do that between scenes. This is a slow fade to black multiple times, and then it cuts to the same shot. Like, there's a moment in which Wilbur is confronting Dr. Armitage, and he's talking to him. And as he's talking to him, everything slowly fades to black. Lights come back on. It's the same shot of him still talking in the same sentence. I'm like, oh my fucking God, why did you do that? Why? Holy crap. Oh, wow. And I think it's them trying to also do like fading into madness kind of things. Like, no. Like, there are moments in which they will do it and they're not talking while it's going. Maybe that's what they were trying to go for. But there are other moments, like there's a moment in which some guy comes to the house looking for his girlfriend who Wilbur fed to the monster upstairs. And he gets sprayed in the face with goo and starts like going, no, my eyes. And then as he's screaming
apparently Wilbur has like acid spit or something like
he's
that.
He's part of Dilophosaurus in this adaptation. Wilbur spits in his face and he's going, no, my eyes. And then the mom is laughing hysterically and mocking him as he's screaming there. And it slowly fades to then cut to the same thing. I was like, why, if this is a commercial, why would you slowly fade out on that exact moment to cut back to that exact moment when that shot is still only going to go on for like 30 more seconds? Because 30 more seconds later, that dude is knocked out and taken upstairs to be fed to the giant monster. It's like, that's not where you end that shot. 30 seconds before the end of the scene, you end the scene. Holy crap, this is a competitor for worst editing I have ever seen in a movie. Oh my God. As this goes on, Dr. Armitage isn't really focused on all that much. Instead, it now focuses on Dr. Walter Rice and Morgan Le Fay, both of whom I don't think were in the original thing. I looked up the names, I don't think they were in the original. But they're now our protagonists. We're following them. And this now becomes a story about whether or not Dr. Walter Rice can believe in the supernatural. And he's going to see things that are going to test him and change his mind. He's going to be tempted with all this stuff that science cannot explain. Because he's going on a quest for the lost page of the Necronomicon, which was something from the original
story.
Thank you. Dunwich Horror is what I meant to say. So he's looking for page 751. And so they go on this quest. They find a blind guy, tells them, okay, get on this boat and now travel out. And which, by the way, they're trying to track down where the original book might have gone. And they discovered that the last person it was seen with was someone 7,000 years ago or something. Or like 3,000 years ago, something like that. And then Dr. Henry Armitage, as if it was nothing, as if it was totally normal, was like, yes, I know them. They've been alive this entire time. I've known them all along. They live like 4 miles from here. It's like, and the movie even stops to like point out what a weird coincidence that was. It was like, movie, just because you point out does not change how stupid it is. But yeah, Dr. Henry Armitage, totally fine. Like, he does not like brace Dr. Rice for, oh, by the way, I know someone that's 3,000 years old, and he lives close by. So they go up there to investigate this.
Also, Bigfoot is my neighbor.
Yeah. Just unzips, like, the back of his suit. He's like, oh, man, I was getting crammed in there. Hi there, my friends call me Mr. Foot. My friends call me Big. Mr. Foot was my father. So they go there, and this is a small thing. This is a very small thing. But I do have to point this out. They get a boat and they find out where this guy lives. And he says, yes, take the boat north. And so they take the boat and they're traveling in the direction of the same sun. And I was like, you know, movie of all the other problems that you have in here, that is not even in the top 10. But if you gotta tell us specifically, go north. Don't give us the shot that every Boy Scout on Earth knows is west. Like, just say go west, you idiots.
Or, like, follow the river upstream or something like that.
Follow the setting sun, something like that. Jesus, if you want to be that shot. So they find this guy, and he's got, like, just topless belly dancers in his place, who, by the way, are topless goth belly dancers. Like, there's one there who's got, like, hair that is so black, it doesn't look, like, naturally black, but then the front of her hair is, like, red, and they've all got, like, the goth makeup on, but then they've got, like, traditional belly dancer attire as the dancer. I'm like,
and
man.
the palest skin.
Man, this is that shot that was just, and on tonight's episode, the writer's barely hidden fetish. Like, that's all that was. Like, dude, just say that you want to get a bunch of topless goth chicks in here. Like, that's it. Like, just say that's what you want to do with this shot. But then the guy comes in who they're looking for, and he floats in with very convincing effects. And he is this really big fat guy who's got, like, pointy eyebrows, like super pointy eyebrows.
He looks like a genie. You mentioned this, like...
I kept trying to think, what does this guy look like? And then later on, as he is acting, which, by the way, I don't even know if that was his actual voice because it all sounded ADR.
Yeah.
But he's got a voice that sounds very much like this. And it was like later on they realized this is what this guy looks like. He looks like a genie. He looks like a genie. He's acting like a genie. He's like even like smoking like, you know, like hookahs and stuff to try and give it like more of a Middle Eastern feel in here. He's got the belly dancers trying to give it more of a Middle Eastern feel. Like
they're all in a tent.
They're all in a tent. I was like, was he supposed to be a genie? I think you're trying to make this guy look like a genie.
Like it's like they're trying to like incorporate like all these things. Like they want like genies, but they also like want voodoo from like Louisiana or some shit.
Yeah,
like that.
because they bring that up in here too. They do bring that up. So there comes a moment in which he hands Dr. Rice this key, says, in order to find the page you're looking for, you have to go to this house. And there's a moment where he stops and he says, do you have a zip code for that so I can punch it into MapQuest? And I was like, wow, that dated this film. But even by 2009, I don't know if MapQuest was all that popular. But then later on, he makes another reference to MapQuest. And I was like, did MapQuest fund this movie? I have to know. I have to know if MapQuest funded this film now. It makes me wonder if there was a third MapQuest reference at the beginning that I didn't notice. Because it, like, mention it once is a joke. Mention it twice, that is a deal. That is a brand deal right there. So if you want to know what the budget of this film is and what the effects look like, it may or may not have been funded by MapQuest. That tells you everything you need to know. Excuse me. I'm getting so upset I'm getting burpy. There we go. They investigate this house, and in the house they find a ghost, which this guy, he's trying to explain everything that he sees. He's like, oh, that was a parlor trick, that was that. He sees this ghost, and he goes, it's going to take me a while to explain that one. And I just looked at that and went, dude, even if I saw that live in person, I'd be like, that is a crappy lighting effect. Where's the hologram projector? Hold on. Where's the light beaming in from? Because, oh my God, that was a bad effect. And it's not even the worst. It's not even the worst effect in this film. We're getting to that one. So we come back and forth between what they're doing in the house and Dr. Armitage and all this stuff going on. They eventually find their way into a hallway. We don't see them get into the hallway. They're just in a hallway saying it goes on forever. And I was like, that feels like a thing that should have been established rather than us just being dropped into it. But they're saying it goes on forever. No, wait. What's this over here? Cut away from them again. Cut back to them. They're now in a cave. That's the transition. No! I open a door and see a cave inside. No. It's just, unless I looked away at the exact right moment, which I don't think I did, because as much as I wish I wasn't, I was paying attention to this. We come back and they're down just in a cave, and some guy's inscribing something and goes, this is the man who wrote the Necronomicon. And then we cut to Dr. Rice. reaching up to try and touch him, and then he touches him, and the man turns to sand. I want you to imagine in your head what that could have looked like, and then imagine the worst way it possibly could have been represented. Oh, wow. You made the joke of I don't feel so good, Mr. Stark. That is giving this, that was a good effect. That was a good effect. That does not sum this up. This dude falls into like tiny, like the grains of sand are circular balls. The grains of sand, like, it doesn't even look like sand. It's clearly what they're going for. You know that's what they're going for. But when you see, like, the effect forming on his face, they are little, tiny, perfectly spherical balls falling off of him. And his face isn't turning into them. The effect is put on top of his face. And then the opacity on this man is just slowly faded down. That's how the effect was done. This is how you know this is a bad film. I can look at this thing and know how the effects were done. Me! I know how in Adobe Premiere, I won't even have to go into After Effects on this thing. In Adobe Premiere, I know how the effect on this was done. Holy crap. Oh, how much more is in this stupid movie? Yeah, they find that's the Necronomicon. He was writing the Necronomicon, but they still can't find the page. Then the entire room starts like filling up with water, and like it cuts to them like trying to go through a ceiling, like they're trapped underneath and they're trying to get through the ceiling. Except that because of how this is shot, we can see that behind them is clear sunlight beaming in from behind them, and it's like, oh my god, we know you're not in a room. You're underneath a dock. We know you're in a lake underneath a dock because we can see the end of the dock behind you. You're not going to drown. Swim 2 feet behind you, you idiots. Holy crap. Oh my god. So, they get through, they're in this room now. The floor starts falling apart and fire starts coming up. And then he thinks back to they were in the tent with the genie man. And they were drinking tea that he was giving them. And went, no, this isn't real. We're all in a dream right now. We're just having a vision. And then they realize that like the house is actually the Necronomicon. They start pulling the wallpaper off. They find the lost page they need. Then they wake up and they draw down what they saw in there. And now this man fully believes everything is real. And he says, and like when they meet Caitlin later on, who I need to remind you, Caitlin does come back. Don't worry, guys. Caitlin's here. Caitlin comes back at the end of all this. I apologize, I'm taking up all the talking in this video.
That's okay. Like I said, I was so bored and frustrated that I was like barely paying attention. I was like honestly like nodding off.
Yeah. You were bored. I was mad at this. I think the only reason you did fall asleep is because I kept going, you motherfuckers! I hate you!
Like the only time it ever caught my attention is like when they had like a really shitty effect going on.
Yeah, you laughed your ass off at the sand effect. You laughed your ass off at that one. But, they go, and as they're going, Caitlin is saying, I'm part of this too. You're taking me with us. Like, why are you part of this? So they're taking Caitlin with them. And as they're taking her, he goes, you don't understand. You have to be prepared. I've seen things that would melt a man's mind. I've seen things you can't possibly comprehend, and I understand now there are things that cannot be explained. And all I could think was, you explained it! You did explain it! The thing that you saw, that was the big crazy trip you went on, was a drug trip. You know that's what it was, because you yourself realized there was an actual explanation to it! You stupid fucking idiot! Holy crap! The entire point of this film is that this is the scientific, logical guy who can explain everything, and he's supposed to be seeing stuff that he can't explain, but then he explains it. He comes up with an exact scientific explanation for it, wakes up, sees her, and goes, I believe everything's supernatural now, and I've seen things that can't be explained, despite the fact that I literally explained it. Holy crap. So, they go there. Dr. Rice now puts on the cloak that the grandfather in the original film from the 1970s, I don't think we ever saw it. No, in the birth scene, we saw him wearing it. Mm-hmm. We did see him wearing it in the birth scene. So he puts on the cloak, grabs the staff, And they start getting Caitlin to draw circles because apparently a part of the story that we never heard was that when she was getting possessed, she saw circles in the ground. And so she starts making them, and they're supposed to protect them. Dr. Armitage gets sucked up into the big portal that Wilfer's brother made, which, by the way, Wilfer dies in this early on, kind of like how he does in the book, which does make it that part a little bit more accurate to how the book was. But when he dies, he turns into a spirit Halloween, like, skeleton door stopper or something. Like, just like, he turns into, like, just something you would put in your yard at Halloween is what he turns into.
Basically.
Covered in Nickelodeon gack. Like, just Nickelodeon green applesauce slime on him. Like, it's not even applesauce slime, because that makes it, like, chunky. That gives, like, the Nickelodeon slime the consistency.
It's more like the slime, like, for, like, stimming or, like, ASMR videos.
Oh, that stuff? Yeah, okay, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, like the...
Yeah, that kind of...
Yeah, it's that kind of slime. So, yeah, he is shot, and then he's going, no, and he's got tentacles coming out of him, but they're not CGI. They're plastic tentacles that aren't moving. So you've got Jeffrey Combs there going, no, with 4 big plastic tentacles like this long, just bonk, 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 bonk. Not moving at all, by the way. Like, no, like, give to that. There's no rubberiness to them. They're just plastic. Just bonk, bonk. And then the next shot is a skeleton covered in green slime hitting the ground. It's like, oh my God. Oh, I'm getting lightheaded from how much I'm complaining about this film. So he's dead. Dr. Armitage is dead. Something happens with the portal there at the end that just closes it up. And then it ends with Dr. Rice in class, the class he was teaching earlier. And he was like, I'm going to teach you today about faith. The belief that you can actually change something. And then this kid raises his hand and says, Dr. Rice, do you actually believe in something like that? Yes, I do. In faith? Motherfucker, of course you believe in faith. It's a thing. Like, you don't have to have faith to know it's a thing that other people have that can exist. You fucking idiots. Oh my God, all this writing is awful.
And you know, like, that nerdy kid, like, I thought he was, like, gonna play an important part.
I thought he was Wilmer.
Like, cause, like, in the beginning, like, he was the one always raising his hand and, like, knows all the facts about, like, the elder gods and everything. So I thought, like, maybe he would, like, come along and, like, help explain or help a professor.
He should have been there instead of Caitlin.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
But he wasn't.
What the, oh my God. I seriously, I still can't get over the, Dad! What? Who's your dad? And then who, why, whoa, hold up now. Oh my, there had to have been all I can think is there must have been like a line in the beginning of this film that we didn't catch. But no, there could have been. There could not have been a line at the beginning of this film because I definitely remember the line of Dr. Armitage going into her room saying, what's your name? You don't know your daughter's name? What? No, it definitely was not his kid. And Dr. Rice was definitely not her kid. I'm sorry. She wasn't Dr. Rice's kid either. I don't, wow. It's insanity to me how little anyone gave a shit on this thing.
Mm-hmm.
Dean Stockwell, the 3 main actors, Dean Stockwell, Rice, and Morgan Le Fay, each of their actors, they are trying to an extent. Mm-hmm. But I mean, there's always so much that you can try. Like, I can't even point at them too much and go like, that was a really good scene. Because there's literally no scene in here that would give them the opportunity to be good. Mm-hmm. But like, man, Jeffrey Combs, again, maybe he was doing exactly what the director told him to do. And if that's the case, I feel so bad for him. But he feels like this is a paycheck for him. And that's a dude who I almost never get that feeling from. Yeah, it's stunning. This drove me fucking bananas. God damn. I don't have anything else I can possibly say about this. Sorry, I just took over talking about this. But it boggles the mind. Like, I've seen some other Asylum films before. But this was bad even by their comparisons. Holy crap. It's the dad, that line.
That's
still
what broke you.
The audio! We haven't even mentioned the audio in this.
Oh, yeah.
Holy crap, we had to put this subtitles on so quick in here. Because you can tell they did not, like, nobody was properly mic'd. Nobody was. Like, that opening of them in the house, in which I said this gives off that feeling like it's just some guy's house. A large part of that is, A, the lighting. It is not lit like a film set. And B, well, okay, A, the lighting, not lit like a film set. B, the set itself, there are corners in there that people have to maneuver around that are not designed for a camera to go past. So it's automatically just someone's house. But also, you can tell nobody was properly mic'd in here. They did not, like, put microphones all over this house in order to, like, set up for this recording. They did not have a proper boom mic operator in this shot. There was no best boy on this thing. There was only a worst boy. The audio in here is god awful. There are moments where people are talking and they're supposed to be giving out important information throughout the entire time that they're walking. There are moments where people are walking and they're supposed to be giving out important information while they're walking. Except that they don't have any kind of a mic following them throughout that. So the beginning of their talking is almost inaudible until they get to this point here, and then it sounds fine. And then they just keep walking past. It's like, dear God, did anyone care on this? Like, even with no budget, you could do something better than this. Holy crap. Yeah. Fuck this. This is our first F. I don't know what else I could possibly give this. It is easily our first F. You got anything?
Nope. I just want this review to be over.
You actually were upset that we were doing this review. I should point that out.
I thought, like, just... Because, like I said, I thought we were going to combine the two, like, Dunwich horror movie reviews in one.
Yeah. You thought that we were going to do like the comparison between the two in the last video, and then I was like, no, we're not going to do that. And then you were like, oh, thank God. And then like as we were talking, like it then dawned on you, no, it's its own separate review, and I could like just feel it be like, oh no, I don't want no. I'm so mad at this thing. It sucks so bad. Like I said, I sit through everything that we have to watch, and even when I've gone to like theaters, no matter how bad the movie is, I sit through it. No matter how bad my viewing experience is, I sit through it. The only time in which I ever cut something off is when I'm just watching something casually on TV, and I'm just like, I'm not feeling this turn off. I knew we were doing a review on this, and I still was like, I don't know if I can make it, man. This editing, the glitching effect was making me so freaking mad.
Like, at one point, I was honestly expecting you to, like, not stop watching and cancel the review for this movie.
Just cancel, like, we're not even doing the 1970s one. Just fuck it.
No, just the 1970s one, but not the 2009 one.
Yeah. Oh, it was that fucking awful. So yeah, it's available on Amazon Prime, also on Tubi, and Pluto, and pretty much everywhere else. Yeah, this thing streams everywhere. Because nobody wants to be the sole owner of this. Maybe if we divide it up, the evil isn't that great. I got nothing else to say. I'm done. I'm out.
Me too.
Alright, what were we talking about next time?
Something better.
You know what, fuck it. To get this taste out of our mouths, I feel like we need to do a good Lovecraft film that does star Jeffrey Combs. We're talking Reanimator next time.
Yeah.
That'll get the taste of everything out of your mouth. Bye, everybody.
Bye.